So this chick,
I don't know why I'm already laughing at this, but this
you should, yeah. This is Carolyn Boryisenko.
Yeah.
I did a video about her the other, like she was the woman who was impressed that Trump could walk. She thought it was like this like super based amazing thing that Trump walked over to that church to do that photo shoot after his thugs had cleared the streets of peaceful protesters.
Right.
You know? So she's pretty nuts. And like Vosh did a couple videos about her, and then she thought like that he had a crush on her or something. She streamed with shoe on head at one point, so she's been making the rounds, but it doesn't look like there's too much of a crowd here to see her today. So let's take a listen.
Looking good in her walk away shirt.
I guess there's somebody. This event still looks like chicken shit, but whatever. Hashtag walk away, rescue America. It's time to take our country back from radical leftists. All right. Wait. Take it back from them? So, like, the country is controlled by radical leftists right now?
Yeah. You didn't know, TJ?
I did not know that.
Great minds think alike, sir.
Oh, they do they?
All right, how's everyone doing?
Woo!
No, Talon's not kicked me out. For those of you who don't know the story, you're better off for it. All right, guys. So I have to tell you, like doing stuff like this.
I also did a video where she was, she did a PragerU video where she talked about her path to, because she's like, her whole thing is like, I left the left kind of thing.
Right.
You know?
That
and
grift.
yeah, you know, the classic. And her whole like justification for it was like, I was part of the knitting community, and then, but like the knitting community was like dominated by leftists.
Dude, it's the same shit. It's the
Yeah.
Abigail Shapiro argument all over again.
Yeah, they all fucking use this. They all read from the same
There were
script.
too many
Dude.
leftists in knitting. So I had to become a conservative. So wait a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. I don't even get it. Wait a minute. So you were knitting with a bunch of
Okay,
leftists.
so here's the story. I'll tell you the story, all right? She's knitting, and she goes online to these knitting communities, but the knitting communities are just full of hate screeds against our great president, Donald Trump, right? And so she was like, I guess Trump must be really bad. But then she went to a Trump rally just to see what it was really like. But everyone was super nice. And so she realized, I've been lied to. So what I did is I actually went and found some knitting community. Like when I was watching the video, I think it might have been the last Abandoned Hope where I was doing with Scotty. I don't know. I don't know when exactly it was, but I went to some knitting communities to see if I could find all of these anti-Trump screeds everywhere. And you know what I found instead? A lot of conversations about fucking knitting and you know, nothing about politics. Like I like Control F Trump, nothing. You know what I mean? Like, but that's, so her origin story literally is a lie. But
I love how these grifters all have an origin story too. It's always like, I started out, you know, it's always a Batman origin story.
Yeah, it's like
we started out.
We started off as 4 ordinary turtles, but then when the mutagen fell in, you know, it's like what the fuck, dude? You guys suck. All right, anyway. Rescue America.
Politics, rallies. This was not in my life plan. It really wasn't. It's actually incredibly inconvenient to the life I was living before all this to be speaking up and speaking out.
Yeah, man. The life I was living before. Now I'm sitting here grifting a bunch of you fucking morons in the crowd. Like, my life, honestly, like back when I was just knitting, that was like my life. But now I got to do all this bullshit where I got to talk to you people and get money from you and stuff. And, ooh, God, it's a pain.
If I could go back to knitting without being just bombarded with anti-Trump stuff, trust me, that's where I'd be. I'd be knitting a warm pair of woolen socks right now instead of talking to you people.
About what I think is wrong in our country. So how did I get here? Well, the first thing you need to know about me is I grew up in Vermont, the land of hippie liberals, Ben and Jerry's, and Bernie Sanders.
Boo, Bernie Sanders, boo. Boo, Ben and Jerry's. That's a bad ice cream because it doesn't agree with me politically. Boo.
Look at this black dude over on the right.
And in fact, there has never been a time in my entire life, I am almost 40 years old, there's never been a time when Bernie Sanders was...
He's just like, yeah.
I'm like...
Tell me another one, lady.
not in public office. And so when I turned 18, it just made sense for me to join the Democratic Party. All my friends were Democrats, my family were Democrats, the Republicans were...
All the cool kids are doing it. Let's all be Democrats because we live in Vermont.
This right-wing superhero origin movie is really boring and bad, dude.
It starts in the land of Vermont, home of Bernie Sanders and Ben and Jerry's ice cream.
We open on a half-eaten pint of Chubby Hubby.
Pan back, Bernie Sanders is on the TV, the fucking Russian flag waving behind him, the hammer and sickle. He issues his edicts.
Yeah. Then our main character Goose steps into frame. Oh my God, dude, I love it.
In Vermont, there is a bread ration thanks to the communist leanings of Bernie Sanders and the Democrats. Then I went to conservative Texas and ate a big juicy steak, and I realized what freedom truly tasted like. And now I speak for freedom. Rescue America.
Now I knit for the conservatives.
Evil people that were trying to legislate their religion and tell me what I could and could not do, and I was not cool with that. And to this day,
why are you a conservative then? You're not cool with people telling you what you can and can't do. Why are you a conservative then?
Never voted for someone who is not a Democrat except for Bernie Sanders. That will end in November.
Yeah, woo, Trump.
Whoa.
Trump, 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 Trump.
I've been on an interesting journey to get to this point, and for me, it actually really started with knitting.
I guess I shouldn't have told you the whole story because here she goes again.
That one, I'm glad you did because my head might have exploded.
Yeah,
I had
to inoculate you a little bit.
Yeah, with knitting, with the thing with the yarn and the needles.
I think we understand. Oh, well, you're speaking of conservatives. I forgot. Sorry.
Now, I know when you all think of knitting, you think of little old ladies in a knitting circle drinking tea and golf.
I don't think of knitting. Like,
Yeah,
there's just like, I don't. There's no, like, when you think of knitting, it's like, that's not a thing. I don't do that.
Yep.
I have 1,000. Even if my brain was like, let's devote some thought to knitting, I'd just be like, nope, veto, next. Next thought.
Gossiping and all that stuff. But knitting right now takes place online on places like Instagram and Ravelry. And about a year and a half ago, what started happening was...
She needs a better origin story.
This is a terrible, boring origin story, dude.
I was in Vermont and I used to knit, but the people on Instagram.
She should have consulted with me. She'd have a way better grift.
What would you give her? What you got a grift off the top of your head?
I would have stuck with the Vermont thing because I like that because that is the land of Ben and Jerry and
right.
and you know fucking Bernie Sanders and shit. So I would say, you know, when I was a little girl and a teenager, my favorite politician being from Vermont was Bernie Sanders. And one day he was leaving the state house after giving a speech, and I waved at him on the street and I said, "Mr. Sanders, I love you, Mr. Sanders, Mr. Sanders." And he said, "Get out of my way, you little creep." And he pushed me as hard as I could, and I bonked my head on the ground. And when I did, this vision of Donald Trump came into my mind. You know, something like that.
Yeah, you should go even further with it. She could be like, "Bernie Sanders held me down, and he raped me."
I mean, go as far as you
yeah,
want.
Go crazy. You know, might as well. You're gonna make shit up. You might as well go fucking nuts with it. Hillary Clinton was there. She taped the whole thing. You know, like, go nuts.
Yep.
Go extreme.
This knitting shit, man, you've lost, like, there's 5 people in this audience and you've lost 4 now.
Right. So, like, you know, when you're juicy, like, come to Jesus story is like centers around knitting. That ought, like, let me ask you this: how many major blockbuster films have there been where knitting was a major plot element?
I can't think of any.
Can you even think of a non-blockbuster film
where knitting
is a major storytelling element or part of the narrative in a heavy way?
I mean, there's lots of movies where people knit.
Yeah, like, you know, like you can see a movie where there's like someone maybe knitting at some point. But is there a movie that even, like, is there any good story that you've ever heard in your life that involves knitting? Probably not.
This one that we're being told right now, TJ.
Well, yeah, obviously this story, but I mean, that's why I brought it up.
Right.
To show that this is like the lone exception to that rule.
Social justice started taking over my quiet little online knitting community. The same social justice that we see today in Seattle and in Portland, taking over and destroying everything it touched. And when I saw this happening, here's what I saw when the social justice mob made its way around knitting. I saw good people who had done nothing wrong have their reputations destroyed because the mob went after them. I saw good people who had done nothing wrong have their businesses destroyed because they wouldn't issue the statements the mob.
Knitting
citation needed.
Yeah. Somebody's knitting business got destroyed because they were pro-Trump.
You know, guys, I love to knit, and I own a knitting shop, which, you know, there's all over America and stuff. And I just gotta say, I'm really feeling what this Trump fella has to say. What? The knitting community is ferociously leftist. Knit you to hell. He's like, what? This is like, everyone boycott that business. No one use that business anymore.
Let's all get together and knit this bitch a body bag.
Yep. They pulled some strings, some threads, you know what I mean? And they fucking got that business shuttered down. Here's what I'm going to make. I'm going to make an assumption about the knitting community, okay? I'm going to make an assumption about it. The knitting community is probably representative of the general demographics of America in that it's probably got liberals and conservatives in it. And I seriously doubt that just like knitting, like, first of all, I already looked at knitting forums. I know that they're not hotbeds of political discussion. I've already checked this shit out. I've looked into these knitting communities like the last time I heard this story. There's not like all this Trump shit all the time going, or like, Trump, fuck Trump, Trump's good, Trump's bad. Like, it's not happening there. People are there to talk about fucking knitting. So this story fucking sucks for that reason alone. But, yeah, that's bullshit. No fucking business has been shut. Like, I don't even know what a knitting business would be or how online knitters would possibly shut down a business. Like, that doesn't even make sense.
Like a yarn store or something, or like maybe you had like a little Etsy thing where you made socks or something.
Like, but how would there's not in their power to kill that business.
Oh, TJ, you don't know these fucking liberal knitters.
Mob wanted them to make.
Every time we say knitters, it's like real close to the N-bombs. I'm like,
maybe that's why she chose this, so she could say knitters.
Yeah. She's going to sell a shirt like, knitta please, you know?
And I saw one man who simply asked for love and kindness and consideration get mobbed so badly that he went into the hospital on suicide watch.
Okay. So let's get this story straight. There was a guy in the knitting community, and he's like, all I want is love and compassion, please. And everyone was so cruel. He's like, I'll just kill myself. And now he's in the hospital. What was his name? When did this happen? Where's the documentation of this event?
Why don't you bring him to these rallies with you? Because clearly he went to the right as well because of this.
And at some point, I realized that this was coming from the left. This was coming from the Democratic Party. This was coming from people I had politically aligned myself with, and I was not okay with that anymore.
Pause for applause. Like, oh my God, I was not okay with that anymore. Pause for applause.
What is
and
that?
Dumbass fucking elephant seals out in the audience all clap their flippers at the right time.
What is this guy behind her holding? Like, is that a can of ravioli or something? What am I seeing there?
I think he's got like a cup, like a soda kind of thing that you get from a gas station or whatever. You know what I mean? Where you get your paper cup or whatever.
Okay,
But I can't tell.
it doesn't really look like that. It could be.
So
It's
from
hard to
there,
tell.
I put myself on a little bit of a journey. I started
I'm so engaged by this knitting story that I'm like literally obsessing over the cylindrical object the black kid behind her is holding.
challenging myself to break outside of my echo chamber and listen to voices I thought I would disagree with. And the very first thing I listened to was a walkaway town hall with Brandon Strock and Mikey Harlow.
Let's see, she changed her story a little bit because her original story was she went right to a Trump rally. Like she's just like, I'm gonna go to a Trump.
Now she's got to shout out all her new conservative friends.
Oh yeah, it's like, and I went and I saw this person speak and this person speak, and we're all buddies, and they helped me. I thank God we finally escaped the echo chamber, right, everybody? No echo chambers.
Wouldn't it be funny if the cameraman drifted off of her and started trying to zoom in on the black kid's can of Chef Boyardee to find out like we're not the only ones that are completely enthralled with the black kid because we're so bored by this shit. Oh my God, dude, this is horrible.
And I was convinced that I would not agree with a word these people had to say. But instead, I saw people who sounded an awful lot like me. And this was
Boring as hell. And completely fraudulent in every way. Just like me.
a surprise because Rachel
By the way, if she ever decides to respond to this video, she's probably going to do the same thing. It's like, oh, they must have a crush on me.
Oh yeah,
they like me. This is like when a boy pulls your pigtails in school.
yeah. I wish that black kid liked her too, and I wish he'd open up that can of Chef Boyardee and walk up behind her, and just dump it on her stupid fucking empty head. Go away. There with fucking marinara sauce dripping down her face.
Oh
Oh
Maddow
boy.
on MSNBC had told me, had
Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs.
sworn that Walkaway was fake. Walkaway was a bunch of Russian bots and fake Republicans who were pretending to be former Democrats. And
That guy's got a new thing. Now he's holding something completely different. Look.
Yeah.
she lied, and I believed
What you
her.
got now?
And of course, that was not the only time the media lied to me, which I found
He's
out
leaving.
through the course of this. But my big graduation exercise
I actually don't think he's holding anything anymore.
on this
Where did
journey
it go?
was
Wait a minute. Hold the fucking phone. Shut up, you dumb knitting bitch. This kid back here is a magician. I've been watching him like a hawk, and that fucking cup was there, and then it wasn't.
All right, let's see if we can figure out what happened here.
Where did the cup go? I don't know. Where did the cup go? I don't know. Where did the cup go? I don't know.
I think he went and set it down there. Yeah,
Did he? Oh shit, man! Trick revealed.
that's where he set it down. I think it is what you were saying. Maybe that's a coffee. Whatever.
I don't know what it is.
Whatever. It's, you know what it is? More interesting than this shit.
I said, no, I'm going to be fine. And so I went and I stood in that big long line outside the arena. And guess what? I didn't see a single member of the KKK. I didn't see a single...
Hey, you know, they look like human beings.
Yeah, you know the KKK don't wear their wizard robes around to shop and shit, right? Like there's probably at least 10 KKK members there. Oh my God. Do you think when you join the KKK, you're never allowed to take off your grand wizard robe?
Yeah, it's like, this is your hood and cloak. You shall wear it for the rest of your... Like, they're not Mandalorians, dude. They're allowed.
Grand Cyclops of the KKK there, like I expected to. So I joined. You know, these must be okay people.
I went there. I didn't see anyone dressed like Hitler. I didn't see any KKK.
Hitler wasn't there. Mussolini wasn't there.
There was no skinheads. I didn't see any swastika tattoos.
No burning crosses. Nothing, you know. Just good people, just like me. Oh.
Nazi. I didn't talk to a single white supremacist. What I did do was I met regular, everyday, hardworking people. I met veterans. I met school...
Who's this bitch in the audience that thinks it's now her speaking engagement? You hear this shit?
Yeah.
It's like, bitch, I'm already listening to one annoying fucking bitch. I don't need
I don't
you.
blame her, though.
Yeah.
I'd be fucking.
They're just bored.
I'd be sub heckling too.
The poor audience is like, we need to figure out some way to make this more entertaining. Maybe we can participate in it. Yeah.
Notice that the audience didn't break out into applause when she said she didn't see a single white supremacist there. There was like this eerie silence for a second.
Let's go back.
They were like, "Oh, why not?"
For the KKK. I didn't see a single Nazi. I didn't talk to a single white supremacist. What I did do—
It's like,
here? Lady say right here. I think she
I didn't
did.
see a single Nazi. I didn't talk to a single white supremacist. What—
Maybe not here.
I think she said not here, but it'd be funny.
Maybe.
It's
I'm gonna
funnier.
be charitable and say it's not here, but if it was right here, I'm not shocked.
Right here.
Right here. If you're looking for one, bitch.
I didn't see a single white supremacist. That's weird. There's usually lots of us. Shut up, Billy Bob. We're fucking dog whistling, boy. Oh, sorry, Paul. It's like, don't you need to learn how to dog whistle, Billy Bob? That kind of talk's all right for between our four walls. But when you're out here, we gotta keep that on the down low till we take power. I'm sorry, Paul. Right here.
Regular, everyday, hardworking people. I met veterans. I met school teachers. I met small business.
I think the woman in the audience does. I don't even think her yelling is related to this. I think she's like
she's just drunk. I think she thinks that like Bob Seger's gonna come out and play.
Yeah.
There to see John Cougar Mellencamp.
She's like, cheeseburger in paradise.
Play Jesse's girl. She's just drunk. Oh, I love this.
Owners
Is that Bono?
who just had different ideas about how to run the country. And this is when I got smacked in the face.
Great thing rolling in the deep. Sing rolling in the deep.
With how much the media and the Democrats had lied to me. And I don't know about you guys, I don't like being lied to. I know.
No, they
Considered ejecting out of politics altogether then.
I mean, then why was the whole first half of why is your whole origin story a lie then?
Yeah, you just spent that is true. She just spent like 20 minutes lying to these people. I don't know about you. I don't like being lied to. Oh my fucking God, dude.
It's beautiful. We don't like lies, do we, Mr. Bennington? Now you get your treat.
The first time I ever saw Brandon Strauss
I don't know why the SEAL's name is Mr. Bennington, but
I love it though. It's perfect.
speak in person, it was at CPAC this past year, and he got up in front of the audience and he said, "Hell has no fury like a gay man scorned."
woo, gay people, woo! Wasn't but a few years ago we were trying to get rid of them, but you know what? Now they're on our side. Whoop doop 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 doo.
Oh man, dude, I thought this was supposed to be abandon hope, not make me laugh to death. Hope, dude, you really did start easy, didn't you?
Don't worry. I mean, usually this bitch is every time. I mean, like I don't know. She's kind of classic. She's a good one. Every time I pull something of hers, it's always like, wow, this is just like.
I want to interview that black kid and find out what that was.
I want to know what the hell he's doing there.
Yeah.
I want to know if he's like a conservative black dude that's just kind of chilling there. Like, yeah.
He's a more compelling figure than the lady speaking.
Maybe he's like the next speaker. Can we go see his speech? I want to see what he has to say.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, Brandon, being a gay man, probably doesn't have as much experience with really pissed off women. And I'm
You hear that in the background there?
Yep.
The fucking braying of the donkeys, man.
pissed off. I'm
Me
pissed off
too!
at Democratic politicians who lied to me for my entire life. life about what they were trying to do. I'm pissed off every single time they play politics with things that should not be political at all. I'm pissed off at the media who continues to cover for them over and over and over again and will not even report on the fact that Joe Biden clearly has dementia and is not capable of running this country.
Broken clock.
Tick tock, tick tock.
You know, twice a day, etc.
You know. We're not going to hear much about Trump's dementia at this rally.
Yeah, you know, selective ignorance of that, but you know, whatever.
The mayors in Seattle, in Minneapolis, in Portland, and especially in Los Angeles, where we were a couple weeks ago. In Los Angeles, the mayor is threatening to turn off the water and the power of people who have gas over to their house. I have had enough. And if you've had enough too, listen guys, this election is important. This is no joke. This is not an election.
This election is imported. From where? From Russia? Dun, dun, dun.
Between
sick
Democrats
burn.
and Republicans.
Yeah, I know.
It's really not.
Decided to go with a mainstream liberal talking point on that one. Just like, boom. I'm versatile. I can deliver the fucking... I can do the Keith Olbermann material too, y'all.
Yep. I know this is going to make some of you in the crowd upset.
Nobody knows who Keith Olbermann is anymore, TJ.
That doesn't matter. It's, you know, I've learned something about like people and what they'll laugh at. They don't necessarily have to know what the fuck you're talking about. If it sounds clever, they will laugh.
Sure.
Just like, yeah, I get it.
They don't want to be caught not getting it.
Right. They don't want to be the one that's like, oh shit, I don't understand what the fucking joke is, but it sounds like it should be funny, so better laugh.
I'm not a Republican. I did not leave the Democratic Party and simply go to the other side. I tend to think both sides are equally their own brands of crazy. But here's the thing. Although I have different ideas than the right about things like healthcare and immigration and environmentalism, where I am absolutely aligned with people on the conservative side is on freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of...
Oh, she's doing that little like, you know, there's some stuff I'm kind of to the left on.
Right. This is the, like, the grift is taking shape now. This is not the hard conservative grift. This is the disaffected liberal grift.
This is the like, look, I'm still on the left, you guys, in some ways. But really, the left that I was a part of has lost its mind. It's done gone crazy, y'all. And that's why I'm here with you guys, because you guys are the real champions of these foundational values that make America work.
There it is.
And then they're like, oh, yeah, we are that. Conservatives are really susceptible to like, hey, here's a black guy, but he agrees with you. Oh, yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. Here's a gay guy, but he agrees with you. Oh. Here's a liberal. Oh, but they agree with you. Oh. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They go fucking nuts for it, man.
It's because for so long they had like nobody agreeing with them. You know what I mean?
She left out the part where those people were getting their power cut. Our TikTok influencers having hundreds of people over for house parties. Yeah, well, you know, she's a conservative, dude. You know, they don't give a fuck about that kind of shit.
She's not taking that into account, man. She's had enough.
Let me go ahead and put the alert box on top of Paul, so that if anyone else does that, Paul won't be covered up. It'll cover him up. So if you want to hide Paul with a big butt, you can always give some money. But you guys are patrons, so I don't really heavily push that. I mean, I feel like on one hand, I'm so done with this, but on the other hand, we've watched nearly 7 minutes of this 9-minute thing.
Yeah.
So I feel like we almost might as well just fucking see it through to completion.
We kind of owe it to ourselves, I think, at this point, to see if the black kid comes back, to see if he grabs his can of SpaghettiOs, you know?
All right, my camera died, but I'll just switch to this one until I can change the battery.
Religion and our fundamental liberties, the thing that makes this country great, on that we are in absolute lockstep.
Woo! Woo! Lockstep! Woo! I love being in lockstep.
Give me some more lockstep.
Lockstep means they agree with me, right? Yep. All right. Yay. Woo.
Because the thing is, we cannot the big problems in this country if we cannot talk to one another. We have to be able to have conversations. And in order to win this election, guys, in order to really...
Conservatives are really obsessed with like this idea that they're not allowed to say what they really want to say.
When all they do all day is babble their incoherent nonsense.
Yeah, it's like literally I've never met a conservative that would shut up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they always got this idea like, man, no one wants to let me talk. No one lets me say what I gotta say. And every time I've ever heard that, it's from a motherfucker that just I never see stop jabbing at the fucking jaw.
It's a persecution complex. Like it's the same thing that Christians used to do back in the day when we were, you know, arguing with them. It's just like, you know, I don't even feel like it's like I'm welcome anymore if I come out and say I'm a Christian. It's just like, since when? So where? So I can move there.
Yeah, tell me where this was. Like, write down the places that this happened to you at. I think I found some new hangouts.
Tell me where in America conservatives have to shut the fuck up, and I'm gone. I got my bug out bag from the hurricane still packed. I'm ready. Let's do it.
Let's fucking do this shit.
Really to have the type of change that we need, you have all got to start showing up. You have got to start speaking out. You know, when I knew we were going to be in this location for this rally, one of the things that I did was I started thinking about...
You know, if you're going to hold a rally, it should probably contain more people than a rallies. You know what I mean? Like, it sounds like there's like 17 generously people there.
Yeah, good point.
I mean, like, at a certain point, it's not really much of a rally, is it? This is just like some people hanging out in the park at this point.
I mean, judging from the body types of the people I can see milling about, it is really more of a rallies than a rally.
Yeah. Like, could I get some curly fries with this rant, or...
Can I get some extra horsey sauce to dump on this bitch?
Huh. Maybe that's the cup. Maybe the kid with the cup behind her had a rallies cup, dude. He vacated, by the way. He wandered off. He's like, enough of this. I gotta go.
He's about to fall asleep on his feet.
Maybe he'll be back.
Others and all the things that they went through at the time of the revolution. And, you know, we look back on the founding fathers now and we revere them as heroes that are bigger than life. But they were just men. They were just men of their time. They were men that had families. They were men that had jobs. You know, when I talk to people on the...
Yeah, like George Washington's job of being the richest man in America and owning like 1 million slaves.
Whoa, look at the tiny head on that guy in the flag shirt.
You're right. Maybe he's got a head. I don't know, dude. Maybe he's just got a really big body.
He has a tiny little head.
Yeah, he really does. Yeah. Look at it. I mean, like, Jesus. It looks like he's got a body like almost the size of mine, but then a head that's like I don't even know. Like, it looks like a child's head on his fucking body.
Yeah, he looks like he looks like somebody killed both you and Chelsea and made a Frankenstein monster out of you. You know what I mean? He cut Chelsea's head off and then put your features on it and put it on your shoulders.
Let's observe this guy.
Here's just an angle thing because it looks a little more normal.
It could be.
That had jobs. You know, when I talk
no, when you see it's really just when you see his whole body, you kind of realize, like, wow.
Just because he's so huge.
Yeah, that dude's head is pretty small for his body. I don't know that it's necessarily small in general.
Now I'm wondering how many people have had this conversation candidly about me. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. His head is. Look at it. Look at his tiny ass head. I think his body's just really big and fat. Oh no, he's got a tiny little head.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's gonna think about you because you have that giant beard, so no one can really tell what the fuck is going on.
It's true.
Like beyond a point.
Harlan, I don't want to speak out because I could lose my job. I could, you know, my neighbors might do something to my lawn if I put up a Trump sign, all this stuff. You are no different than the men who founded this country.
What?
Oh my God, dude.
Oh man.
I'm no fanboy of the founding fathers. They were a bunch of shitbags as far as I'm concerned, but There ain't a single fucking Thomas Jefferson within 100 miles of this rally, let alone in attendance.
So,
you
like,
know what I mean?
whatever you think of the founding fathers, whether you want to believe in the mythologized version or the more like realistic, like warts and all kind of version, like here's something that's like true across the board. They were like proactive people who were generally like intelligent and ambitious and well learned, and you know, like they were pretty like, I guess you say learned, learned men, you know.
They were opinionated. They weren't bobbleheads that just stood to watch a chick in ripped pants tell them what to think. You know what I mean? They like had their own opinions based on their own experiences and knowledge and stuff, you know?
So, yeah, I don't think that there's like the typical like Trump supporter that's scared. Like she just said, like the person who's scared to put a Trump sign. Like you're talking about dudes that like say what you want about them. They engineered a fucking revolution to take over a fucking country. Like, we're talking about dudes that had balls here. We're not talking about a person that's fucking scared to put a sign on their yard because some non-existent liberal's gonna fucking set their lawn on fire or some shit. Like, that's not even remotely comparable, all right? Whatever. Why am I even taking this seriously?
No different. They spoke up. They coordinated.
God, I wish this fucking camera... I want to see this fucking audience so bad.
You want to see both of them?
Yeah, I want to see all three of them. I think I'm going to be generous. I'm going to say there's 3 people there.
It sounds like you're about right. 3 to 5 people.
What is this? What was this event called? This is maybe I can get some information. Maybe I can find like a picture of the quote unquote crowd. This is.
I mean, I kind of doubt it.
Rescue America rally in Philadelphia. Okay, I'm just gonna look for it and see if I can find something. Because I want to see.
Together, they expressed their beliefs, even though at that time, if we had lost the Revolutionary War, they would have been deemed traitors. This is a time where we need people to speak up. We need people to speak out. You need to show up to things like this. You need to talk to your friends about your values. Don't try to pitch them Trump. This is not even about Trump. This is not about Trump versus Biden. This is about, do you want to live in a country that has an authoritarian government that wants to tell you what ideas you can consider and what words you can speak and what videos you can watch and what voices you can listen to? That is what is at stake in this election. This is a time for heroes. This is a time to be brave, and every single person...
Okay, so yeah, literally... The only coverage I can find about this like rally series is they did one in Beverly Hills that I guess attracted like 400 people.
400?
Not this one. One in Beverly Hills attracted 400.
Oh, okay.
So that seems to be their moment of glory. They're shining like, wow, we actually got 400 people to come to this. So I'm going to fucking keep my estimate pretty low for this one. I don't know. Like, realistically, I mean, I guess it sounds like there's, like, what, 20 people, like, standing around?
I mean, it doesn't to me. I'll be honest with you. I'm not trying to be uncharitable here, but it doesn't sound like there's no 20 people. It sounds like 5, 6, 7 people max.
Maybe that's the only amount of people reacting, because I feel like there's got to be more than that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just fucking, like, why would she even bother? Okay, whatever. Let's listen. We're almost done. We got like a few seconds left.
Here can stand up and do something to move this country back to the right direction. Okay. All right, guys, thanks for coming out today.
Okay, you're welcome.
So you set up all this shit and had a whole rally thing, and that was what it was for. That was it. That was the thing. She was probably just one speaker, I guess. I mean, like, there might have been more speakers at that thing than there were audience members, which would be pretty funny. What was the message?
The message is, I don't know, something about knitting and Democrats are
with a can of ravioli is what I remember.
Democrats are bad, and it's not necessarily that Republicans are good, but they're better than Democrats. I guess she's kind of like she's like doing like the harm reduction vote, but misguided on the other side or something. I don't know.
It's almost like that there's a dark mirror of this bad idea on both on the other side. That
Well, you know, I hope that I hope I've defended it a little better than that. But I'll be right back. I'm gonna put this battery in the other camera because I like it better.
I mean, yeah, you have a brain in your head, so that worked out.